to the classroom, into the school system with dignity.
Well, it appears to me that one of the elements in terms of this movement from schools to prison has to do with this idea of zero tolerance. Why don't you, because I think that was what you got caught on. Is that right, Ms. Hughes? This idea of zero tolerance, which is to say that there could be no forgiveness if the idea is what? Zero tolerance.
Right.
That is, you've committed a sin or whatever, and therefore you're out. Is that how most people interpret zero tolerance in the system?
Yes, very true. And what a lot of people don't know is that the zero tolerance laws are very flexible, that they're very specific as to what they're supposed to be used for. But a lot of schools and a lot of principals use them just very fluidly for whatever they feel like using it for in the moment. It's not implemented consistently across schools. It's not implemented consistently across districts. And also, most of the time, there's no progressive discipline along the way. We jump from, okay, he got in my face and I didn't like it, or he walked out of the classroom, or his pants were sagging, or, you know, just something that could have been addressed in a much different way. We go from 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, as opposed to looking at what other options we have.
And so, and when you get caught up in this system of zero tolerance, that you got to go and whatever, there's no appeal that you could have made during when you got caught up in that situation, Ms. Hughes?
Yes, sir. It was an appeal. It was like, actually, I was out of school for 6 weeks, so I couldn't even go to another school, so I was just basically homebound.
And so you zero tolerance sent you home for 6 weeks, and with the expectation of what happening?
With the expectation of staying out of school for a calendar year, to not being able to go back to school to the time that I was expelled, to the next year to that same time.
So we went from, she was expelled for a calendar year, and then we went through the process of appeals, and they reduced it to was it 6 weeks?
Yeah.
And then she ended up having to transfer
But
schools.
she's also separated from all of the people that she knew in that school from the first time. Is that right?
Yeah, from actually elementary school. So I had grew up with them. They had knew me. They had basically knew my story, my struggle, and how I wanted to be different. And I was just separated from them.
Oh well, Pastor Walker, what can you say about how you can, outside of what she's doing, to make this a much wider sweep in terms of making sure that folks come to an understanding of what's going on?
Well, the blessing, Dr. Haney, in Ms. Hughes' life is that she had somebody to speak up for her. And had she not had a voice other than her own to speak on her behalf, then she'd have just been pushed out of the system for that year. And then what could have happened to her mindset over that period of time, you know, we don't know. But we're thankful that she did have some people that will speak up for her and challenge, you know, like Rashida said, we're not fighting the system, but challenging the system to do what's right. And if principals have the leeway to be flexible with this zero tolerance, then why are they not doing it? You know, why are they so quick to rush to judgment, to push somebody's life down the drain? And, you know, my only response to that would be, of course, this prison industrial complex, this privatization of prisons, and the monies, you know, people are exchanged on the stock market now. So if we got this system in place, which is another thing needs to be dismantled, this privatization of prison. Because I mean, now you got judges and everybody getting caught up with selling, you know, people into the prison system. Then you got the school to prison pipeline, which definitely got to be challenged, got to be broken up, so that we can stop people from being funneled from the third grade, identifying the third grade.
Very good, going to the prison.
Absolutely.
Very good. And of course, let me thank the three of you for coming by, Ms. Hughes and Ms. Fatuga, and Pastor Walker for giving us that excellent information. And I think that it sort of laid the foundation for folks to see things a little different in terms of what is really happening in the system. And of course, we'll be back with our audience next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.